And so I kind of got into initially more of a GRC type role that ended up seeming like somebody who was just going to like be around to reset passwords and kind of set initial like cybersecurity policy. And then very quickly they realized like, oh, we need somebody to do vulnerability management, and we need somebody to do patching, and we need somebody who's going to enforce policy and build training. And well, you're just one guy, but hey, you got to do this, and you got to do this for multiple sites, and you got to do this for multiple networks. And so very unconventional. And so I'll say some of the things that probably helped the most are the military has this, especially if you're kind of in the military in kind of the recent GWAT era, like the global war on terror era, do more with less mentality, right? And so there's like a lot of really terrible sayings that I'm going to try to like interweave into the conversation that probably like won't make you cringe, but they'll make somebody cringe if they've been in the military in the last 10 years, just because it's like, trying to catch somebody with something. And that's one of them, like do more with less. And so the ability to be like one man, one woman tool is probably a really
Right.
big thing, right? And
Mhm.
so one of the big things I'll say that makes things really hard for people, I'll start there, is the power to translate what you do in the military. So my story and how I got in probably doesn't matter as much for somebody who's going to make the transition, right? Because it's very different for anyone who's going to do it. I would say the biggest issue that I see with people, and so like, at my organization, I'm involved with like our veterans network and our veterans mentorship. I encourage you, like, just as an aside, it's my problem. I'll tangent every chance I get. As an aside, if you're looking at an organization and you really want to target an industry, find a couple of top companies that you really like, and then find out if they have like veterans, like networks that
Mhm.
will do mentorship for people who want to get in. Because like the
Mhm.
organization that I'm with, we do that. That's something we do. We host it once a year for a week where you can get a hold of people, and we happily will talk to you about what we do. And we host weeks where we do those kinds of things. But we come into these problems where you have someone who's going to say, hey, I was in charge of, J6 with $10 million and I worked on insert 50 million acronyms with military jargon here. And you get kind of one of two things. You get, A, you're going to lose everybody in the jargon, or you get two, everybody's like, well, you're kind of just making everything up. And so I think a really big part here is like making quantifiable results. I know it's funny, right? But like, the amount of times I meet people who are like, "Ah, you're just embellishing your career, guy." And it's like, I think you find a lot of people in the military who are silent professionals and rather just not market their competencies.